This is the story of a 19-year-old American hero from Carrollton, Texas. A daughter, a friend, and a soldier who dedicated her life to her country. This is the story of Private First Class Isabella Gonzales and the ultimate sacrifice she made. Just over a year ago, Isabella Gonzales was a student walking the halls of Hebron High School. Today, a nation remembers her as a hero who gave everything for the freedoms we all share. Her journey from a hopeful high school graduate to a soldier on the front lines was a short one. But she left behind a legacy of profound courage. Before she ever put on a uniform, Isabella Gonzales was a bright young woman in Carrollton, Texas, with a life full of promise. Her friends remember her as outgoing, spontaneous, and someone who absolutely loved to dance. She was a member of the Hebron High School graduating class of 2025. Her best friend since they met in 7th grade choir, Noami Arau Ruiz, described her as a sweet, sometimes shy companion. The two were inseparable. Like a lot of teenagers, Isabella had dreams for the future, but she also had a quiet determination that set her apart. Friends remember being together just a year ago, laughing and making plans. For Isabella, that future involved a path few would choose. Misael Galdamez, another close friend, said it feels surreal to think of her as a memory. We were just in a room over there, laughing and having the time of our lives. Now she's just a memory. And it feels so weird. Her school district, Louisville ISD, remembered her as someone with immense character, saying, "Not long ago, Isabella walked the halls of Hebron as a student, a classmate and a friend." It's a statement that shows how deeply she was connected to her community, which is why her loss feels so personal to so many. Those who knew her said she could find the good in anything. She'd faced challenges in her young life, but she always found a way to rise above them, a quality that would come to define her service. Right after she graduated in the spring of 2025, Isabella made a decision that, as her school district noted, speaks volumes of her character. She enlisted in the United States Army. It wasn't a sudden choice. According to her friends, she wanted to prove to herself how disciplined and brave she could be. Her friend, Zuleika Acosta, said, "I think she really did want to make people proud of who she was. She wanted to be very disciplined, and she wanted people to view her as someone who was very brave." Boot camp was tough, as it is for everyone. There were times she doubted if she could make it through, but she did. She pushed through. "We're really proud of her," her friends recalled, their pride now mixed with sorrow. Choosing to join the military is a big decision, especially for someone so young. It takes a maturity and selflessness well beyond your years. Carrollton Mayor Steve Babbitt reflected on this, saying, "She signed up willingly and able to put service above self, and we have to honor that." For Isabella, joining the Army was more than a job. It was a commitment to something bigger than herself. It was a testament to her strength, a strength her best friend recognized when she said, "She still got up and chose to go to the Army." She left for boot camp exactly 1 year before her story would become a national headline, ready to become a soldier for her country. In the Army, Isabella found her place as a 14P air and missile defense crew member. It's a vital role that requires precision and a steady hand under pressure. Her unit was the 1st Battalion, 57th Air Defense Artillery Regiment, 52D Air Defense Artillery Brigade, part of the 10th Army Air and Missile Defense Command based in Ansbach, Germany. These soldiers are on the front lines of modern defense, trained to neutralize threats like drones and missiles. After enlisting in April 2025, she joined her unit in Germany in January 2026. From there, she was deployed to Jordan to support Operation Inherent Resolve, the U.S. mission to combat the Islamic State group. Her assignment put her at Muwafaq Salti Air Base, a key location for U.S. and Allied forces in a volatile region. Her service was defined by the same courage that led her to enlist. She stood her post in a high-risk environment, a teenager entrusted with protecting her fellow service members. Her deployment to Jordan was a direct reflection of her commitment to stand on the front lines and defend against threats to America and its allies. On July 17, 2026, at Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, Private Isabella Gonzales made the ultimate sacrifice. She was killed in action during an enemy strike on the base. At just 19 years old, thousands of miles from her home, she gave her life in defense of her country. The Pentagon confirmed her death occurred while she was actively defending against incoming attacks, a final act of her duty as an air and missile defense crew member. She died at her post, fulfilling her mission to the very end. The news of her death sent waves of grief from the front, lines in Jordan all the way back to her tight-knit community in Texas. She was one of the first American troops killed by direct Iranian fire during the conflict that year, a grim reminder of the human cost of war. Isabella stood her ground so that others could be safe, joining the honored roll of American heroes who have given their last full measure of devotion. In the wake of her death, a grateful nation and a heartbroken community came together to honor the memory of a young hero. The U.S. Army announced that Isabella Gonzales would be posthumously promoted to the rank of Private First Class, a recognition of her service and sacrifice. Tributes poured in from all over. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said, "Her courage and sacrifice represent the very best of Texas. Our nation is forever indebted to her." The city of Carrollton, her hometown, declared she would be remembered as a national hero. At an emotional city council meeting, leaders and residents gathered, wearing her favorite colors, black and purple, to pay their respects. Her family, while dealing with an unimaginable loss, traveled to Dover Air Force Base to receive her remains, where they were joined by the president. Back home, plans are underway for a permanent memorial in Carrollton to ensure her legacy endures. But maybe the most powerful legacy is the one she leaves with those who knew her best. Her friends have promised to keep her memory alive by telling her story. As her friend Noami said, "She makes me want to do better. She makes me want to accomplish a lot in this world." That is the true impact of a hero, not just in how they died, but in how they inspire all of us to live. PFC. Isabella Gonzales' story is one of bravery, service, and sacrifice. As we honor her memory, let's also remember the countless other service members who stand guard for us around the world. Please feel free to share a message of support for the Gonzales family and for all Gold Star families who carry such a heavy burden. Let's make sure their sacrifice is never forgotten. At just 19, PFC, Isabella Gonzales gave her life for her nation. But for those who knew her, for her community, and for a grateful country, her legacy of bravery and heroism will live on. She was a daughter, a friend, a classmate, and a soldier. She was an American hero,